Amazon revs up auto ambitions with in-car TV Alex integration. Amazon revs up auto ambitions with in-car TV Alex integration. Amazon is expanding into autos with more in-vehicle services for its Alexa digital assistant and will make Fire TV an in-car entertainment system. Amazon is expanding into autos with more in-vehicle services for its Alexa digital assistant and will make Fire TV an in-car entertainment system. Amazon unveiled plans Monday to be a bigger player in the auto sector, announcing partnerships that will put its Fire TV platform in vehicles and offer more services through its Alexa digital assistant. Amazon unveiled plans Monday to be a bigger player in the auto sector, announcing partnerships that will put its Fire TV platform in vehicles and offer more services through its Alexa digital assistant. In an announcement ahead of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, Amazon said it would allow car owners without built-in Alexa to add the smart assistant to the vehicle through a phone application. In an announcement ahead of a Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, Amazon said it would allow car owners without built-in Alexa to add the smart assistant to the vehicle through a phone application. The Echo Auto program for the voice assistant will roll out this month in at least 15 countries, Amazon said. The Echo Auto program for the voice assistant will roll out this month in at least 15 countries, Amazon said. Another new feature to be offered this year will allow monitors to fuel up by seeing Alex pay for gas at some 11,500 Exxon and mobile stations. Another new feature to be offered this year will allow monitors to fuel up by seeing Alexa pay for gas at some 11,500 accession and mobile station. The news comes with Amazon, Google, and others battling for supremacy in the market for voice-connected technology for an array of smart devices. The news comes with Amazon, Google, and others battling for supremacy in the market for voice-connected technology for an array of smart devices. At Amazon, we believe voice is the easiest, most natural way to interact with technology. The company said in a blog post as it prepared to open its auto booth at the sprawling electronics showing on Tuesday. At Amazon, we believe voice is the easiest, most natural way to interact with technology, the company said in a blog post as it prepared to open its auto booth and the sprawling electronics show on Tuesday. We've seen so many examples of how Alexa can make life easier and more convenient for customers, and now we are focused on bringing Alexa to places beyond the home, starting with the car. We've seen so many examples of how Alexa can make life easier and more convenient for customers, and now we are focused on bringing Alexa to places beyond the home, starting with car. Amazon also said its Fire TV platform would be offered for in-car entertainment with BMW and Fiat. Fiat Chrysler automobiles among those offering the service. Amazon also said its Fire TV platform would be offered for in-car entertainment, with BMW and Fiat Chrysler automobiles among those offering the service. The Alexa digital assistant has already been a feature on several car brands, but Monday's announcement highlights broader ambitions in the sector. The Alexa digital assistant has already been a feature on several car brands, but Monday's announcement highlights broader ambitions in the sector. Amazon said Lamborghini will integrate Alexa in its Hurricane Evo range, and electric vehicle maker Rivian will integrate Alexa into its Amazon delivery vans. Amazon said Lamborghini will integrate Alexa in its Hurricane Evoque range, and the electric vehicle maker Rivian will integrate Alexa into its Amazon delivery vans. Amazon said its cloud computing unit RAWS was working with BlackBerry, the former smartphone maker, now focusing on software to develop a connected vehicle software platform for in-vehicle applications. Amazon said its cloud computing unit AWS was working with BlackBerry, the former smartphone maker, now focusing on software to develop a connected vehicle software platform for in-vehicle applications. Solid 2019 U.S. auto sales underscore consumer strength. Solid 2019 U.S. auto sales underscore consumer strength. Strong sales of SUVs and other large vehicles again lifted U.S. auto sales in 2019. U.S. auto sales in 2019 dipped slightly from the prior year, but still demonstrated an underlying resilience as large vehicles strengthened their stranglehold over the market. U.S. auto sales in 2018 dipped slightly from the prior year, but still demonstrated an underlying resilience as large vehicles strengthened their stranglehold over the market. Sales for 2019 came in at about 17 million, according to a leading analyst Monday, below the all-time peak of a few years ago, but good enough to show the boost from a tight labor market that offset recession and trade war worries that shadows the economic march of the year. Sales for 2019 came in at about 17 million, according to leading analysts Monday, below the all-time peak of a few years ago, but good enough to show the boost from a tight labor market that offset recessions and trade war worries. That shadowed the economic march of the year. It's still a very healthy market, said Charlie Salzberg, senior economist at Cox Automotive, who expects a slightly cooler market in 2020. Sales for 2019 came in at about 17 million, according to a leading analyst Monday, below the all-time peaks of the few years ago, but good enough to show the boost from a tight labor market that offset recession and the trade war worries that shadowed the economic march of the year. But good enough to show the boost from a tight labor market that offset recession and trade war worries that shadowed the economic march of the year. It is still a very healthy market, said Kalia Salibrow, senior economist at Cox Automotive, who expects a slightly cooler market in 2020. Other supporting factors included generous leading term following Federal Reserve interest rate cuts and unusual strong sales of car fleets to businesses and government bodies, due in part to a U.S. tax cut enacted in 2018. Other supporting factors included generous lending terms following Federal Reserve interest rate cuts and unusual strong sales of car fees to businesses and government bodies, due in part to a U.S. tax cut enacted in 2018. Other supporting factors include generous lending terms following Federal Reserve interest rate cuts and unusual strong sales of car fleets to businesses and government bodies, due in part to a U.S. tax cut enacted in 2018. Other supporting factors included generous lending terms following Federal Reserve interest rate cuts and unusual strong sales of car fleets to businesses and government bodies, due in part to a U.S. tax cut enacted in 2018. Cox expects 2020 sales of about 16.6 million US, due in part to reduced growth in fleet sales. Cox expects 2020 sales of about 16.6 million in the US, due in part to reduced growth in fleet sales, but Salibrow said trade war fears have diminished AIM expectation that US President Donald Trump will not put tariffs on imported cars at his sixth re-election. But Karespov said trade war fears have diminished amid expectations that U.S. President Donald Trump will not put tariffs on imported cars as he seeks a re-election. But Salibrow said trade war fears have diminished amid expectations that U.S. President Donald Trump will not put tariffs on import cars as he seeks re-election. Chesbrough estimated that conventional cars comprised only around 28% of the market, with the rest coming from large vehicles such as pickup trucks and crossovers. Chesbrough is estimated that conventional cars comprised only around 28% of the market, with the rest coming from large vehicles such as pickup trucks and crossovers. Lower sales for Big Three. On Monday, Ford reported a slight dip in fourth quarter sales and an annual drop of 3% to 2.4 million. On Monday, Ford reported a slight dip in fourth quarter sales and an annual drop of 3.0% to 2.4 million. Ford was the last of the auto giants to report auto sales. Fiat Chrysler and General Motors both disclosed declines in 2019 U.S. auto sales on Friday. The latter revealing lingering effects from a bruising 40-day strike that has dented its vehicle inventory. Ford was the last of the auto giants to report auto sales. Fiat Chrysler and General Motors both disclosed declines in 2019 U.S. auto sales on Friday, the latter revealing lingering effects from a bruising 40-day strike that has dented its vehicle inventory. Ford in November unveiled the Mustang Mach-E, one of the many electric cars due to hit the U.S. market in 2020. Ford in November unveiled the Mustang Mach-E, one of the many electric cars due to hit the U.S. market in 2020. Ford's results were emblematic of larger shifts in U.S. market, with a 9.1% jump in trunk sales helping to offset a 28.2% slide in car sales as the company has moved to phase out models such as Fiesta and Focus. Ford's results were emblematic of the large shift in the U.S. market, with a 9.1% jump in trunk sales helping to offset a 28.2% slide in car sales as the company has moved to phase out models such as the Fiesta and Focus. Ford's results were emblematic of the large shift in the U.S. market, with a 9.1% jump in truck sales helping to offset a 28.2% slide in car sales as the company has moved to phase out models such as the Fiesta and Focus. Ford currently has no all-electric vehicles on the market after halting production an all-electronic model of the Ford Focus that had a range of 150 miles before requiring a recharge. Ford currently has no all-electric vehicles on the market after halting production an all-electric model of the Ford Focus that had a range of 115 miles before requiring a recharge. But Ford is in November unveiled an all-electric and sport utility vehicle. The Mustang Mach-E, which has a targeted range of at least 300 miles per charge and will, in a special performance version, have capacity to zip up to 60 miles an hour in under 4 seconds. but Ford in November unveiled an all-electric and sport utility vehicle, the Mustang Mach-E, which has a targeted range of at least 300 miles per charge, and will, in a special performance version, have a capacity to zip up to 60 miles an hour in under 4 seconds. The Mach-E will be available in late 2020 and is part of a strategy to beef up Ford's fleet of electric and hybrid cars. Bigger share for electric. The vehicle is one of roughly 24 electric models that are expected to hit showrooms in 2020, posing a challenge to Tesla Motors, which reported a surge in deliveries on Friday in figures that contrasted sharply with conventional auto giants. Bigger share for electric. The vehicle is one of roughly 24 electric models that are expected to hit showrooms in 2020, posing a challenge to Tesla Motors, which reported a surge in deliveries on Friday in figures that contrasted sharply with conventional auto giants. Chesbrough estimates the total market's share of electrics and hybrids in the United States at perhaps 5%. Chesbrough estimates the total market share of electronics and hybrid in the United States at perhaps 5%. Despite the surge in electric offerings, he expects to see only very incremental growth in electric sales the next few years, in part because consumers are still unsure when to take the plunge as models are introduced and disappeared. Despite the surge in electric offerings, he expects to see only very incremental growth in electric sales in the next few years, in part because consumers are still unsure when to take the plunge as models are introduced and disappointed. Despite the surge in electric offerings, he expects to see only very incremental growth in electric sales in the next few years, in part because consumers are still unsure when to take the plunge as models are introduced and disappeared. Despite the surge in electric offerings, he expects to see only very incremental growth in electric sales in the next few years, in part because consumers are still unsure when to take the plunge as models are introduced and disappeared. It's putting a lot of the risk on consumers when it's changing so quickly, Castro said, adding that relatively low gas online prices mean consumers face less pressure to adopt newer vehicles. It's putting a lot of the risk on consumers. It's putting a lot of the risk on consumers. It's putting a lot of the risk on consumers when it's changing so quickly, Castro said, adding that relatively low gasoline prices mean consumers face less pressure to adopt newer vehicles. relatively low gasoline prices mean consumers face less pressure to adopt new vehicles. Other experts have pointed to dearth of electric fuel stations in much of the nation as a limiting factor. Other experts have pointed to a dearth of electric fuel stations in much of the nation as a limiting factor. The website EV Adoption which is run by self-described EV evangelist Lon McDonald, projects that U.S. sales of electric cars will rise to about 5% in 2020, but not cross the chasm of reaching the mainstream U.S. market until 2028, when the share hits 17.7%. The website EV Adoption, which is run by self-described EV evangelist Lon McDonald, projects that U.S. sales of electric cars will rise to about 5% in 2022, but not cross the chasm of reaching the mainstream U.S. market until 2028, when the share hits 17.7%.